How's it going? This is Joe and Tell. And the question today is, should you trust me? Should you trust Joe and Tell? And I think that's a good question to ask when you're making purchasing decisions based on what anybody on YouTube says. Is this person trustworthy? And for the most part, people who comment on my videos seem to be people who just watch a lot of my other videos. And so I would assume that they somewhat trust me. But then once in a while, I do have people who go on and, they say, why did you give this such a great review? Were you paid off? Just kind of insinuating that somehow, the entire review was paid by the manufacturer. And, for the most part, I usually try to respond and kind of explain my position and my process and what I do. And that's what this video here is for, is to kind of explain what's going on. And then I'll leave it to you to decide whether you trust me or not, or whether you should. And so, at the end of the day, it's a personal decision for you. I don't think there's an absolute right or wrong. It's just a matter of whether my values align with your values, right? So let me start off with that is the comment that, I'm paid off, and, the fact that I do have sponsors, right? Because that is true. I have some sponsors on my channel, and basically, I'll just tell you guys what the agreement is. The agreement with my sponsors is that I review X amount of products from them each month. But what I always say in our agreements is that I'm allowed to say whatever I want, right? All right, future me here. And I realized that I didn't talk about disclosure. And so I make sure that anytime I'm working with a company, I am required legally to let you guys know what the relationship is. And you guys are there to decide whether that will skew, my review or whatever. And I try to do that on even when I don't have to, right? Even when I don't have to, if a company sends me a product free for review, which is almost always, right? They don't require me to pay, but a lot of times, most of the time, I send the product back anyway, but still, I still check the box on YouTube. You'll notice it says paid advertisement. And I'll do that just because I would rather kind of err on the side of being more cautious and making sure I say, if you look at the description, it always says disclosure, about the affiliate, that I get paid whenever you click on the affiliate links. And I'll also copy and paste that in, a pinned comment. And so I think it's important to let you guys know whenever there's some sort of relationship, right? There are a lot of others who do have relationships and they don't disclose it. That's up to them, right? It's not really my business. My business is my business. And I think it's important to disclose as much as possible. I'm not going to say exactly, this is the amount that, of our business deal. Not that, I'm afraid or anything. It's just, I don't think it's necessary, right? If it's not necessary, yeah. But if somebody were to ask me, a fellow YouTube guy, something like that, a lot of times we do compare notes. And so it's not like I'm trying to hide anything. It's more like not necessary, right? Yeah, that's it. What I always say in our agreements is that I'm allowed to say whatever I want, right? Because the moment I start compromising on my values, and I'll get into that later, then it doesn't feel good for me, right? It doesn't make sense for me to take money at the expense of what I truly believe. Because I found that, looking at my past, right? Not that I'm somebody who's been dishonest, but there are times when you're growing up where you kind of compromise, let's just say, some of your values. And what I found is it never led anywhere that I wanted to go, right? Regardless of, usually it was because you're following some kind of opportunity. A lot of times that's money, right? And what I found is you may or may not get it, but once you do, you're like, what am I doing here? How did I get here? You've compromised something that's important, which is your values. So I'm really huge on values, core values, which are values that are really Not something that you make up, not like the things that you see on a website where it says, these are our core values, honesty, integrity, all that. To me, core values are based on your life experiences. That's how you get your core values, and that's what makes you who you are, right? And so my personal core values are, they do include integrity because of the reasons I told you before. As far as money, right? It's kind of funny because people always think like if you have a sponsor, then that means automatically that, you're going to compromise something. Your integrity goes out the window. And to me, that's kind of silly because does that mean that everybody who has a job automatically is like, a shady person because, they get paid? To me, it's not mutually exclusive. You don't have to be, you don't have to sacrifice getting paid for being honest and having integrity and things like that. So, it can go together. Now, at times, some people are not like that, right? People with different values are the ones that may do stuff that they don't believe in, or maybe you don't believe in order to obtain success, financial success, whatever type of success in life. But those are the people to me that will never understand me, right? Because they have a different set of values. Their value might be win at all cost, right? And to me, it's not like that. It's not about winning at all costs. It's about doing the right things, not stepping on people to get where you want to go, right? So yeah, that person would never understand me because put in my position, they would do something completely different, right? If there was an opportunity to make money, they would go ahead and take it regardless, right? Lying, cheating, doesn't matter. To them, winning is number one. For me, it's not, right? Making money is not at the top. Making money is, I like to say jokingly, that it might be a close second, right? Or third. And to me, that's an important distinction because for it to not be first means that something else is more important, right? And what is it that's more important? Like I've said, integrity, being honest. And actually, if I think about it, I'm only useful to advertisers and whoever wants to, send me stuff to review if I have an audience, right? And I can only have an audience in my mind, right? I can only have an audience if people trust me, right? Now, I know that there are people who would disagree and say, hey, you know what? There's a lot of people who are popular that are not, they got popular because of this and that. And yeah, that might be true, but it's not my way, right? I'm not about that. So values, values to me is very important. Money, I like to say, I don't know where I heard. I think it was Jose Aldo. He's a fighter, but I'm sure he probably got it from somebody else. That to me, like money is like a shadow, right? Sorry, let me get this phone. Turn this phone off. Money's like a shadow in that the more you try to chase it, the more it gets away. But if you keep going in a certain direction, it tends to follow you, and it's always been the case for me. So financial success and whatever success in life, I've never felt the need to compromise on my values. So again, just to clarify, I do have sponsors. The agreement is I review something, right? I make a video. What I say about it, it's what I say, right? And so some people might also say, well, if you keep saying bad things, right, then they're going to drop you. And maybe. All right, so I just realized that I didn't really address the question about what happens if I don't, review something and I give it if I don't give something a good review, and will a manufacturer cease to send me more stuff? And I haven't really found that to be the case. If you look at my speaker leaderboard, look at the ones that are towards the bottom, those companies will still send me stuff over and over because they want me to make a video for them, right? And, a lot of times I do tell them this is what's wrong with your other product. And a lot of times they agree. They said, hey, you know what? That's true. And we're going to try to improve on the next one. And to me, that is a win-win. It's based on constructive criticism in that I'm not just trying to bash products for the sake of bashing them. I want these companies to make better products so that consumers can have better products and they can make more money. And it's actually just much easier if it's a great product. You know, the bad products are the ones that are hard to review because I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but you know, a lot of times they want me to make a video, and so I have to be honest, and that's what it is. And so some people might also say, well, if you keep saying bad things, right, then they're gonna drop you. And maybe. But recently I've actually done the opposite. I've fired kind of like a sponsor, you could say. Or I just had an agreement that said, hey, you know what? You know, maybe they didn't like some of the stuff that I was saying. They said, hey, can you kind of say this? And I said, no, I can't say it like that. I'm going to say it exactly how I'm going to say it. And if that's not good, then that's what it is, right? So that's also why I do objective measurements, because they back up what I'm saying, right? It kind of keeps me in check. And you guys keep me in check. If there's something that I say that's untrue or maybe, you know, biased, well, I expect you guys to say something. And then that also leads to bias, right? So bias, to me, is part of being human, right? And the most important thing to me is that I am honest with my own biases. So if I'm friends with somebody at a company, well, that's going to probably make me a little bit biased towards saying nice things about their company and their products and things like that, right? But I can't help that. So what I would like to do instead, though, is at least bring that to the forefront and let you guys know, right? That's the best that I could do, is like, hey, I'm friends with these guys. It kind of makes me biased towards them. I'll let you judge, you know, if that makes this whole review null and void. Or the fact that I was honest with you, maybe you'll say, okay, I'll take that into account, and, you know, we'll proceed from here. Yeah. Bias. What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think my whole point is just that it depends. Can you trust me? It depends on whether you hold the same values as me. If we share the same values, then yeah, maybe you'll see what I do and my process, and you're like, you know what, I like that way of thinking. Or if you're a win at all cost type of person, you're gonna look at me and say, nah, I don't trust that guy's not for me, because he's not about winning at all costs. I'm about winning at all costs, and so I don't want that guy on my team, right? And it makes sense. We just don't have the same values. So, can you trust me? I could trust me, right? Honesty and integrity are extremely high, you know, on my priorities, or my values, right? I'm trying to think of what's above it. I really don't know that there is anything. Without your word, what do you have, right? What do you have? Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Anyway, you guys let me know. Do you trust me? Do you believe what I have to say? What do you think of this whole process? And if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them and address them. Anyway, that's it. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. That's it. Take care. Bye-bye.